We are continuing this mini series in Sunday morning called Clarifying the Vision, where we're taking a little slice of the service and kind of pulling back the curtain a little bit and talking about the why of Vision Church. 2 weeks ago, I had John Evans up here with me, and we really talked about the heart behind our church, where it started really 6-7 years ago, where God planted something in me, and I started to kind of spread it out, and we talked about the why of why we would plant a church, especially one where unchurched people would love to attend. Literally, your friends or your family members that don't go to church, are far from God, or mad at church, or mad at God, that you could bring them here and they would have a safe place to enjoy music, to hear helpful messages, and hopefully come to a spot where they understand Jesus and accept Him. That was week one. Last week, I had Mitch Lewis up here. Of course, he's up here with our team this morning doing music. As our associate pastor, we brought him on staff in September to help us kind of build our structure, because up to then, we had been me and a bunch of volunteers. We brought Mitch in, and specifically we talked last week about some of his strengths with technology and people skills, but especially this concept of servant leadership. And again, I want to encourage you, if you work out in the business world, just try servant leadership and see what God can do through you in the business world. So today we're taking kind of a different spin on it. Because like I mentioned, the first 3.5 years of Vision Church, it was me and like 150 volunteers. And I loved it because there'd be a couple Sundays a year that I would either go on vacation or go to a conference, and I would love it because I'd be sitting there watching Facebook Live or, yes, on the beach, watching Facebook Live. You're like, no, you didn't, Matt. Okay, I didn't watch it live. But I watched it in the car, and I was watching it saying, our church is being run completely by volunteers. I love it. People that are passionate about serving, using their gifts. So what I want to do today is kind of talk for a couple minutes with some volunteers in our church so you can get a little slice of what they do, and then particularly as we head into June and give you more and more opportunities to serve here at our church. So if you would, welcome up here the Shook family, okay? All right, so we got Denise and Mac and Dave. You guys can share a couple of those. Just pass those around and come grab a seat here. Here at Vision in our lobby, we kind of rotate what we put out there, but our main thing we have out there are our core 4 values. And when they're out there up on the wall, you'll see that one of them is this image we got right here. Oh, not that one. this one right here. That saved people serve people. So say that with me. Saved people,
Save people.
Serve people.
Serve people.
Okay, you're like, what is that about? Well, we believe that Jesus Christ, the Son of God, came to earth and gave us a chance to be saved from our sin. So when you enter into a relationship with Him, and now you have a hope for eternity, you are saved, and as a result of that, we believe you should want to serve. And it's not just serving to grow a church, it's not just serving to do a task, it's serving to introduce people to the love of God and literally be used by Jesus the King to push forth His mission. So when I was thinking about this week, and I was going to bring up some people that serve in our church, the Shooks, they just bleed it. They ooze it. They are so servant-minded. Now, we got the one family picture up here, which that is pretty cute. Dave, you looking good in lavender and green Aladdin. Of course, there's Henry there on the floor. Henry couldn't make it. He's working today. Yes. Is that right? A couple more pictures I want to show you before we dig into stories with them. Let's see. Next up, we got Mac up here in the front at camp, looking weary after days with our teenagers at camp. Was Henry there too? Yeah. Where's Henry?
He's the flower.
Oh, Henry's with the flower. That's not normal for Henry. Oh, I don't know. Okay, I don't know. All right, the next one, let's see. The moving team, we got Dave flexing there in the middle. Don't get blinded by that. And then just in the back there, laying on the couch, I guess, is Henry. And this is one of our teams to go out and just help people, serve them by moving their stuff. Next up, you don't want to be on the receiving end of Henry. We did a video about him a couple weeks ago. I was on the receiving end of him punching. There's a lot of love in his punch and a lot of punch in his punch. But anyways, on the next one, we got our team that went to Southwest. And of course, you got Mac and Denise over here to the left, and we love blessing those teachers and staff at Southwest Middle. And then I think we got this one, where you did not know it, but we have movie stars in our church that are known, like worldwide. I don't know if you guys were in that movie, or that's just like, did you Photoshop that? Mac did that. That's all Mac's work. But okay. So anyways, let's get to know these guys a little bit, because I tossed a couple questions their way this week and said, talk to us about serving. So my first question for each of you guys to share is, what is your motivation for serving? Why do you guys serve on clean teams and moving teams and help with women's teams and student ministries and all these things where they get down there in the trenches and serve. What is your motivation? What's your heart behind that? Who's going to start on that?
Well, one of the biggest things that we do as a family is clean team. In fact, we've broken into 2 teams. Denise and I do one week, and Mac and Henry do another week. And all of us sat around and looked at each other and said, well, why do we do clean team? And we could not come up with an answer for the longest time. Because there's really no reason I want to go clean the bathroom or sweep the floor. But then it kind of hit us. Denise's father was a pastor, my dad was a pastor, and they had much smaller ministries than this, and we knew how taxing every detail was to them. There was so much that had to be done that serving on the clean team is just kind of our way of getting something done that doesn't have to fall on somebody else's shoulder.
I like it. All right. So Denise, how about you? What's your motivation? All the different ways you serve here at Vision.
And then we were all talking too. We have different reasons for the different things that we do. So I'm just going to pick one of them. Yeah. I serve on the women's ministry team, and I'm a florist by trade and / gardener. And so I like to decorate and like to make things look pretty. And the reason why I like serving on the women's ministry team is because the Lord blessed me with this talent, and it's my way of giving it back to the Lord. I know a lot of moms, as I'm a mom, you don't get to go out very often. You don't by yourself without your kids. And so being able to go or come here for a women's event, I just want it to be pretty. I want moms to be able to go, cool, that's really nice. You know, you had a nice, pretty evening and you learned something, and hopefully you draw closer to the Lord. So my reason isn't really that spiritual, but it's to honor the Lord with what he's given me, and hopefully y'all get blessed by it.
Absolutely.
So that's my reason for that.
Absolutely. All right, Mac, how about you?
For me, Ignition, is my main, where I'm at. So for me, it's a blessing that, I can be, hopefully, a godly role model to all of these kids. And, I have so many people that I can go to talk to about whatever. Yeah. And I'm blessed to be that person for them.
Yes. Well, thank y'all. One what?
There's one more.
Oh, one more. Okay. So motivation coming internally, and I love what Denise said about she's been given a talent. She's using the talent for God. I mean, it's not complicated. It's really not. Figuring out what that is and using it. And I tell you, when women come in here for those events, they do feel special. And when people come in here on Sundays, they appreciate a clean building or appreciate being moved, or students that have another voice in their life. That matters so much. So last question then is, what are the benefits? Because this isn't just a giving thing. Honestly, God pours back in somehow. What do you think about it, Dave?
This may sound very strange. My parents celebrated their 50th wedding anniversary 4 years ago, and the place was packed out. And there was one fellow there from my dad's work, and there was 2 ladies there from my mom's work. And everybody else there was church, whether it was a prayer group they went to or a small group or just something that they helped do, like a soup kitchen or something like that. But all the other people were things outside of work. We spend all of our time at work, and then Dad dies a year later, and at his funeral it's packed. But guess what? There was nobody from his work there. But the whole church was packed out by all the people that he had interacted with in church groups, prayer groups, any kind of ministry. Yeah. So what is our benefit to that? Hopefully it's not posthumous. But for us, it's that interaction. To me, it's the realization that what we do here, no matter how small, is so very important, because I get to know people like John in a small group. And John blesses my life. I get to know people like Craig in a small group, and Lorraine, and their struggles and their testimonies, they help me in my struggles. So the benefit from all that is, yeah, you can stop there and feel good about yourself, but more than that, it's what we gain, and hopefully, like I said, not posthumously. Right. There's one other thing, and I don't remember what it was. Oh, no, that's not it.
You never know when you put a mic in Dave's hand.
Over 50, you have to forgive me. Warranty's out. But anyhow, I know what it was. Wait, it takes me a while. no matter what you do when you volunteer here, for that time that you're doing it, takes us about, 4 of us takes an hour, 2 of us takes 2 hours to clean the church. For those 2 hours, I know out of the 24 hours in that day, I was spending 2 hours exactly where God wanted me and doing exactly what God wanted me to do. And I don't know about y'all, but I struggle with the other 22 hours in that day. But it's very encouraging to me to know for at least 2 hours or an hour, I was doing something so right in His kingdom.
I love it. I love it. So, some next steps from here, if you are interested in finding where you can serve, of course, you can stop at our Connection Center any Sunday, talk with them, or you can go on our website, on our serving page, or our app on the serving page, and you take next steps. That'll get you connected with Mitch, our associate pastor, and he'll connect you with ministries. You take test drives. We'll walk you through all that, as well as in the month of June, in our Love Does series, we're going to be talking about some serving opportunities. We'll get you plugged in. Just try it, and you get to see some of the benefits of it. So first of all, let's hear it for these guys, because I love the show. I love them.